shit. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We have a super stacked episode for you guys today. Of course, we are on the horizon of championship weekend in the NFL. Chris's Baltimore Ravens are going to take on the big dogs in the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs. Brock Purdy and his 49ers are going to host Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. What a good story on both sides. But and of course, we're going to talk about what's next for the teams that did lose in the divisional round. Bills, Bucs. Not really so much for the Packers, Texans. I think they're in a good spot. We'll still give them their flowers later on, though. But NBA Weekly is packed. We got Terry Rozier to the Miami Heat. You got Tristan Thompson suspended for taking drugs for no reason. We have Adrian Griffin fired and Doc Rivers most likely being the replacement. We have so much to talk about. But, of course, it would be illegal if we started and didn't start with Summit's Plummets. Danny, get us squared off.
Yeah, my plummet of the week is that Brock Purdy won a playoff game again. He didn't deserve to win. He showed that when Debo's out the game, he's not legit. And they had to lean on Christian McCaffrey to just take over, and it took him till down the stretch to take over. And when he took over, they won the game. But they got lucky, and luck doesn't prevail in the playoffs eventually. Eventually, luck will not prevail, and I think it's just luck isn't going to prevail eventually. So I think the Niners' luck runs dry, just like the Bengals did in the regular season, and the Niners are my new Bengals. So that's my plummet of the week. Is that the Niners got lucky. My summit.
I couldn't. No, go ahead.
I'll let you go.
I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more with you. The Niners are a team that when they've won this year, it has been by whooping someone's ass. And now finally someone punches them in the mouth, they get a gritty win, and now it's luck. Look, man, if you can't beat the 49ers in the state that they were in, like if you did not, they missed the kick. You did not put the final nail in them. You gave him one more shot. And don't tell me that throw, who was it even to? I don't even know the dude's name.
To Jennings?
Chris Conley. That throw to Jennings was nails. That corner throw to Chris Conley was nails. Dude, I go, all right, Christian McCaffrey deserves 100% the most credit for that win. He was awesome. But, I mean, that's pure hater stuff. Look, Brock Purdy, he satisfied everybody. It wasn't a great game. He led a game-winning drive. Niners fans happy. Haters are happy. But to say that they got lucky and luck doesn't prevail, luck is all about it in the NFL playoffs. You think you can just beat 3 championship-caliber teams back-to-back-to-back with just straight skill? It doesn't work that way. But I know you have an agenda to push, and maintaining the agenda is 100% top priority. I just wanted to say I disagree. I see where you're coming from, but I just want to say I disagree. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your summit. That was wrong.
You're good. The agenda will continue to be pushed, just like the agenda about my favorite player, Joel Embiid, who dropped 70 points last night. That's his summit of the week. He's historic. I was at the game, him versus Wemby. I've never seen someone get double teamed every single play and drop 70 points, but now I have. He is the TJ Watt of the NBA. He's unreal.
Don't ever disrespect Joel Embiid like that ever again. Joel Embiid is a lot more to his sport than TJ Watt is. I will say.
Are you sure?
You know who Joel Embiid is? You know who Joel Embiid is?
Myles Garrett.
Lamar Jackson.
Oof.
About to be a 2-time MVP. But they had some playoff demons to
and they got hurt a lot.
And they got hurt in the playoffs, which whether you want to put that up to them not performing well in the playoffs or them being hurt in the playoffs, that's kind of up to you. But I think that was a really good comparison because a lot of people said Embiid was Dak, and I'm like, no way. Like Embiid is way because they're considering the playoff drop, which I can see if you think the Cowboys are a lot like the Sixers, but Embiid is not like Dak. Like, look, I think fairly of Dak. I think some new scenery will help him, but like Joel Embiid is like all time, man. Like,
hey,
70, 15, and 5.
I could get behind that. I could get behind that if CD Lamb is Tyrese Maxey.
No. Yeah, no, it's not even close.
Nah, dude. CD's like top 3 receiver in the NFL. It's not a debate.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about Joel's 70-point game for sure. Chris, we can shuffle on over to you for the Summit and Plummet.
I have a so my plummet is like a half and half plummet, but it's gonna equal to 1. So half my plummet is that I'm going to the Mavs versus Suns game tomorrow.
Yes,
And
sir.
Luka, Kyrie, KD, Brad Beal, Andy Book are all questionable. So
Oh,
I just hope
all right.
2 out of 5 of them play at the very least. 2 out
KD
of
gonna
5 of them
play. KD gonna play. Book gonna play. Beal's definitely not playing.
Oh, Bill's not. I don't think he even wants to play basketball. Luka might play. If Book plays, Luka's gonna play, and then Kyrie might figure it out. I don't know, but that's like half my plummet for that, and the other half of my plummet is I kind of got happy today when I seen Coach fired, but then I got sad when I saw it was Adrian Griffin and not Darvin Ham. So that's another part of my plummet because I thought I was almost there. I was so close. I was like, "Ooh, Coach fired! Yes." Wrong black coach, unfortunately. So sorry, Agent Griffin. L firing for you. So that's my plummet. My summit is that moving to my new place this week with my lady. So that's gonna be cool. Well, technically starting today, really, but then kind of going through the weekend. So excited about that. Starting to start something new. Moving to probably about like 8 minutes from where I live right now, but it's a whole different city technically. So just looking forward to that. So yeah, that's my summit, my plummet.
That's dope. That's dope. I would say Summit for me. Celtics got a win, huge win last night against the Mavericks. Tatum played phenomenal. He should have walked out of there with a 40 ball, and he missed 4 free throws. But 39, 11, and 5, good efficiency. Can't hate it. Jaylen Brown, look, while Joel Embiid dropped 70, Jaylen Brown dropped 77. Put him on his ass, and that's why Luka don't defend. But and Luka, I mean, Luka's the only dude, man. Yo, like 33-point monstrous triple double, and Celtics fans were like, "Oh, but look at he went 12 for 30." I'm like, look, as Celtics fans, the last y'all, those who live in glass houses don't throw stones. I know y'all been watching Jason Tatum for the last week. I know y'all see my boy putting up tour dates. Let's please not do that. But Tatum, Brown, they combined for like 73. Huge win. Jason Tatum at the end of the first quarter, Lil bro'd Grant Williams in the most like Grant Williams was trying to mess around, like throw up a half court. I mean, get that shit out of here. Lil bro'd him insanely. And Tatum was just getting whatever he wanted. And I think what I liked the most about last night, just realizing he's 6'8", 6'9", 225. Probably the best place to score on the court, probably around the rim, I would say. And he wasn't just chucking threes. I mean, when his threes are falling, look, that dude's, there's not many guys better than him in the association, if any, when his shot is falling. But it's almost so rare at this point that, you might want to put it away. And then I really don't have a plummet. I mean, NBA yesterday was insanity. It was so insane. I bet you didn't know Harrison Barnes dropped 32 last night. I bet you ain't know.
In the first half, by the way.
And then Cat had 44 at the half, finished with 62. And the craziest thing about that, he's the reason they lost. That is the most
feeding him. Bum.
What'd you say?
They were feeding that bum.
He was just jacking. He wasn't playing defense. He was just trying to put up whatever shots. Could never be Embiid. Embiid methodically gets his buckets.
I'm telling you one thing though. Sixers fans, craziest thing I've ever heard. They were like, fuck the offense, feed Embiid, let's get him 80.
Dude, I mean, here's the thing though. Embiid, you feed him on the post, that's efficient O. Like, that's good O. What's not good O is Cat trying to ISO step back 3. 7 foot, man. Go get on that post, please. Look, I love Mark Williams. That's their option down there, man. Like, they don't really got a lot of options for you down there.
I showed my girlfriend the video where he's like, for sure. She's like, he's gay.
Oh, yeah, for what?
For sure.
No, Cat he's definitely big purr. But we can shuffle this right on into our actual NBA discussion, what should we even start with? Should we start with?
Let's start with Kevin Durant
or Celtics
Kevin
legend
Durant.
Tristan Thompson.
I mean, I would say if we want to start with Tristan Thompson, that's just going to be right out the way. I'm going to look up how many minutes per game is he even
2.
playing to like
Wait. Like we all guess the number. I guess 2.5.
My guess is
2.5
11.
minutes a game.
I'll
say, like,
11.
I don't know. I haven't been like eyeballing the Cavs per se.
I think it's like 11 or 12, something like that. That's my thought.
Okay, let's
my
see.
guess.
No, he's averaging
12
12 minutes a
12.
game. 12 minutes a game. And you know what? That's probably inflated. No, that's probably inflated because Mobley's out.
It is. That's why I said that.
So-
because I picked him up in fantasy for a while because he was playing like 25, 30 minutes a game. So I knew it was super inflated. I knew it was close to 12, though, because he was playing like a minute or two before that. So
Yeah,
knew it
I
was
mean,
inflated.
I don't know how much this really affects the Cavs, to be quite honest. I mean, there's some rotational bigs on the market.
Moses
I mean,
Brown, that's my guy. He gets rebounds.
Moses Brown.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was a Celtic legend for like 3 days, and then we traded him again. Moses Brown, a rotational guy who's out there. If they're because I don't want to say go trade for Clint Capella because the contract's a little too big for like only needing him until Mobley's back.
I would say,
and it kind of doesn't give you a lot of diversity.
I would say Olynyk. Olynyk's an option to look
Kelly
at.
Olynyk can stretch the floor, can play with both Allen
and Mobley.
That's actually a great one. I would love to see them reach out for. I would love to see them reach out for Olynyk. I think he translates to the playoffs very well. Game 7 legend.
And one more thing, one more person
Mhm.
too. If the Pistons are up for it, just to take a flyer on them for the rest of the year, you can swap Okoro and Wiseman because they're looking for a wing, and you need a backup big for the year. You can just swap.
Yeah.
Those. They make the same amount of money. I think it's like both at like $9 million this year. I think you could do that. Those
I think
swaps I'm looking at.
I think Okoro, as much as he's like a real, I mean, and this is being generous, real streaky shooter, I think his game translates to the playoffs a little better than Wiseman's because like you're already struggling to find, a better shot diet in your bigs rotation. So they're on pace. If the playoffs were to start right now, I'm pretty sure they're playing the Knicks again, and that would be just so awesome. It'd be so awesome. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, there hasn't really been you can't name 3 guards who have been better than him in the last 10 games. I mean, he's been balling. You could probably say like Shea, Luka, and the conversation stops. He's been playing really well. But I mean, like Tristan Thompson, he been cheating the game his whole career, bro. This is nothing new. he been cheating the game since. If you don't ball like him or Kobe, promise that bitch gonna leave you. Almost what got Tristan single. But enough about Tristan Thompson. We're wasting our time. Let's get what would we say is let's go with what our day started with. Terry Rozier going to the Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry and a 2027 protected first round pick. Let's start with Miami. They're the contenders in this situation. They got a bucket. They got a dog. I think they got a guy who really fits Heat culture, but I was real interested to see what Chris thought about this one because also a big Terry Rozier fan, and I'm really interested to see what you think about his fit on the team because me personally, I'm like, okay, I think he fits alongside Jimmy well. I don't think you could really play him and Hero together a lot because they're kind of have the same skill set, kind of provides you the same things. Defensively, I mean, T-Row, his effort is obviously going to step up under Spoelstra. I'll just let you have it. What do we think about this Lowry Rozier swap?
Yeah, I got some gas for you. I know. So I've been saying for a while, I think Rozier would be a great fit on the Heat for a bunch of reasons. And I think it's mainly just because of the scoring punch, obviously, because he can go get you 20 points. But I think what you said is like, I think the opposite. I think you can play with Tyler, and this is the reason why. When Bam is your center of offense, you can play 2 scoring guards together because the hub is him, kind of like Sabonis. That's why Monk and Fox work very well together because Sabonis is the hub. The handoffs and everything, even the passes down low, the pass kickouts, it all starts there. And then you can also have Jimmy's a point forward at the end of the day. He's forced to score more in Miami because he has to. But now you can put him in the role where the ball's in Jimmy's hands now. So at the end of the shot clock, if it's 4 seconds left, instead of it's Lowry chucking up a 3 or Gabe Vincent from years past, it's Jimmy with it now. So now you can play bigger with a well, technically bigger. T-Rose like 6'2" at best, but you can go Jimmy, Tyler, Terry, Bam, and whoever else at the 4. You can put another shooter out there. You can put a real defender out there because you
Kevin
have more
Love.
offense. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin
Like, I
Love
think
out there.
it gives him just more options to close a game, to throw at somebody. And at the end of the day, they needed more firepower. And for them only to lose Lowry and a protected pick down, which they weren't bringing Lowry back, especially not at that number or a number close to it, I think it's a win-win. And you still stay in the sweepstakes for a bigger player. I think T-Rose done. I think his extension's over in 2 years, not including this one, something like that. So I think you still big fish hunt because at that point when T-Roll's up, Jimmy's around being up, and almost Bam and Tyler too. So you can really like go and reassess at that point. So I think it was a win-win for them and a good one for the Hornets too. At the end of the day, you move off of Rozier's contract. For some reason, they love playing Brandon Miller at the 2. I thought he was going to be a 3, but him at the 2 was good. Maybe it's better alongside LaMelo. And I think that'll help Terry Rozier too. Terry's played with the ball dominant guard like LaMelo. He's played off him and still been able to get his 20 points. Now he's going to be in an offense where it's more free-flowing, more team-oriented, to where he can step up and be the number one scorer on nights where Jimmy and Tyler's not going, or if Jimmy's sitting or Tyler's sitting. It's like I said, it gives them way more options, and I think it gives you just a proven scorer again. Like, they have their rotational guys, the undrafted guys who go and give them great minutes all the time, and that's what they're going to continue to do. But now you have a proven guy outside of Tyler and Jimmy who can go get you a bucket when it gets crunch time. So, yeah, that's my.
I think you kind of sold me a little bit on that potential Rozier hero lineup. I definitely I agree with like what we kind of said, why DeJounte would be a good fit in Miami, or why Trey will be a good fit in Miami. Is just like, instead of, Jimmy, please save us. Look, Terry Rozier knows clutch moments. In his 3rd year in the league, he hit a clutch shot. I'll just put it that way. Hit a clutch shot in the playoffs against a Bucks team with a, up and coming Giannis. You can ask any Sixers fan firsthand. Gave them nightmares in the second round. Didn't show up too much against the Cavs, but he's got playoff DNA. He's got experience of being the go-to scorer, but he's also got experience of trying to fit within a system. And I think with Spoelstra, that'll be huge. Now, the question I have for Danny actually is the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference right now is Celtics, Bucks, Sixers. Those are your top dogs. Celtics mainly because they have the best starting 5 in basketball. They have Jason Tatum, who is a 1B, maybe 1C superstar. Bucks have Giannis, arguably the best player in the world, with Dame, who's a fringe top 10 player in the NBA. And then Sixers have arguably the best player in the world, MVP right now. But the thing with the Heat, why you never can count them out, obviously how they come playoff time. And it sounds silly asking, is Terry Rozier put them in that tier? Danny, I want your opinion. Do you think adding Terry Rozier and having him instead of Kyle Lowry makes Miami a real threat to those top tier teams?
It doesn't make them a real threat, but it makes them a semi-threat.
What's the best team they could beat in a series?
The Cavs, Heat, Knicks.
Okay. So you think they're like, so we have our top tier, and then they're like that. They're still in that mid tier of like them, Cavs, Knicks.
Yeah, legitimately, the Heat could be anybody in the playoffs, just because we've seen them do it before. But if we're talking about skill for skill, I think they're in that Knicks Cavs range.
Yeah, I think I would agree, and that's the weird thing about the Heat, because I don't want to like say that and then it comes back to bite me in the ass. I'm like, oh look, here they did it again. Eastern Conference Finals, pushing a Game 7 with the best starting 5 we've seen since the Golden State Warriors in the late 2010s. But that I feel the same way. I mean, talent wise, I think they are mid tier. But when you have a coach, when you got dogs, when you have guys who are going to step up and do their job, I would say I trust them in a playoff series against anybody. Not saying I necessarily pick them against anybody, but they're going to scrap for sure. And then the next biggest news outside of the Terry Rozier one, Adrian Griffin let go after 43 games. The Bucks were the second seed in the East under Adrian Griffin. But it seems like they have decided to let him go. I think a large part of this was people thinking maybe he just does not have the players' trust. The players are not big fans of him. And that the defense has not been there for a team that has, Giannis, on defense. Your defense shouldn't be this bad. And people think it's a lot of a system thing. I personally think it's just a lot of guys are old and getting cooked. And you said that you wanted Malik Beasley to be your new Drew Holiday. Look, man, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you don't have any elite defenders at guard, but at the same time, you got to look towards your head coach. I think defense is like, you can coach defense. A coach can get you to play defense. God damn it. Ime Udoka has the Rockets playing defense. And I don't think any of them are like, all of them are like barely legal to drink. Young guys don't play defense, but Ime Udoka's got it done. Missoula's got his guys playing defense. So, and to Missoula's credit, at all times when he has 5 guys out there on the court, at least his starting 5, they're all defensive team caliber. So like, not Porzingis, but Porzingis is a good rim protector. That boy is barbecue chicken on the post. I ain't gonna lie, especially against like the top dogs. But back to the point, Chris, what do you think probably went into this firing? What do you think about Doc replacing him? And just overall, what went bad? What went sour? Even though they were second in the East and they just blew out Boston like last week.
I think they needed somebody to blame for the defense. That's really what I think happened. Honestly, they needed somebody to blame because it's such a big drop off from last year. But I think one thing you noted that was really important is, the Lakers' problem is that a lot of the defenders are older. That's why we look to Cam Reddish to be a defender. You cannot have Malik Beasley as your top guy. As a LeBron fan who likes the Lakers now, I've watched Malik Beasley play defense, and I think he tries most times, but he cannot be your lockdown guy. And they have the same problem a lot of the teams have, where if you put a lockdown defender on the court, you have to take off an offensive threat. And you can't do that because you have to keep up with scoring because you can't defend. Andre Jackson, the best defender on that team, because Pat Connaughton took a step back. A lot of people took a step back. But Andre Jackson can't play as much because you need the shooting of Beasley. Chris Middleton has to play, and there's no other place for him. So I think at some point, I think at that point, Adrian Griffin's hands was tied. And I feel bad for him because I feel like 30-13 isn't a fireable record. Not fireable record, but it's not a record you see somebody get fired with often. Second in the East is not something you see. So it was just weird to see. I don't know how much better it's going to get because unless you're going to go trade for more pieces. Like the team you have now, they were winning because of the way they were playing. At home, they're really good. On the road, they were kind of iffy. But it's a first-year head coach. I feel like it's unfair. To be honest with you. But also I think what you said is also true. Maybe the locker room wasn't really feeling them like that. Maybe a change of scenery maybe Joe Prunty, who's I know has been an assistant for a while, maybe you can get them to buy in or something like that. But I just think it was unfair. I don't know where they go from here as far as like making change. I think they were doing pretty well. So I think they continue to do pretty well. You just have to see for the good teams, the Celtics, Bucks, Nuggets, those times it matters when you're in the playoffs. So at the end of the day, we'll see. And as long as you have Dame time, a proven clutch performer, I think you should be into any game. So it was just weird to see. I don't know if it was fair. It just sounded like it feels like a scapegoat type of thing, or the top player doesn't like him. That's my guess. Because I've seen Giannis and Adrian have a little back and forth. I've seen that. So maybe it could have been we want to make the star player happy.
Streets are saying he tried to put Thanasis in a trade package. Streets are saying he tried to cut Thanasis, and Giannis executive Kumpo that wasn't having none of it.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't because if you cut Giannis, cut Thanasis, you know what you can do? Find somebody that can probably play defense on that 15 spot. You probably could.
Look, man, Thanasis. I bet Thanasis just because he's like a raw athlete. I think he could play defense, but he gives you nothing. He gives you negative production on offense. So it's just, but like his hyperactivity, he could be like a Jared Vanderbilt, but like Vanderbilt, at least every now and then, dude hits a corner 3. Like
he can at least make layup.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm about to say he might be the funniest person ever to watch play basketball. He's like putting me in a 7-footer body.
Dude, he's hilarious. He has like a middle schooler's skill set. But he's built like one of the strongest humans on the planet. So he's hilarious. Danny,
unfortunately, plays like Ronaldo Bachman.
So Danny, what I wanted to ask you was, you have Doc Rivers' firsthand experience, and so do I. And so does Chris, because I bet he watches a lot of Clippers games, being a hater. So, Danny, what do you think? What can Doc Rivers even provide for this Bucs team that Adrian Griffin like couldn't get out of this team? Do you think like maybe from like a veteran standpoint, he could maybe just get some out of them? I mean, I've seen some of the huddles. Doc Rivers literally told the Sixers, he's like, "It's up to y'all. It's up to." I'm like, "Dog, no, it's up to you." Like, but Danny, I want to hear your thoughts on a potential Doc Rivers replacement.
Yeah, this is horrible. Straight up, this is horrible. You take a guy who's led your team to the 2 seed, and you're replacing him with somebody who's notoriously runs teams with stars into the ground, and he's only has one championship ever with stars, and it happened to be one of the best starting 5s, maybe even the best starting 6, because you got of all time. You had Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, Kevin Garnett.
Big perk.
The big perk. The list goes on, dude. And that's the only time that he won a championship. He hasn't come close since.
And it's crazy. They should have won again.
Yeah, he hasn't came close since.
They should have beat Kobe in 2010. And I will never forgive Doc Rivers because Rajon Rondo was 100% winning Finals MVP, and I am dying on that hill. That started to shift to it's like Paul Pierce versus Kobe for like the first one because those were the 2 stars of 2010s. I promise you, it was gonna start being Kobe and Rajon Rondo, but now I agree. Like I don't know, like Doc. We talked about this. We talked about this. Ty Lue, great manager of stars, horrible at coaching bums. Doc Rivers, great at coaching bums, can't manage stars because he can't get them to do what he wants. What do you think he's going to do in this situation? Damian Lillard's been around forever. Damian Lillard's going to do Damian Lillard things. Giannis, you can't coach Giannis nothing at this point. Like that's just he's a two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP. I mean, you can't tell him nothing. I think he's not available, but Ty Lue would have been a great coach for a group like this, but he's over there managing Kawhi, PG, Russ, Harden, Zubac, Daniel Tyson, the gang. So I agree. I don't necessarily know. Like, I just don't think you should have fired Griffin because what are your other options? Like maybe the defensive scheme isn't there, but your offense is phenomenal. The only thing I could criticize Adrian Griffin on his offense is just run pick and roll more with Giannis and Dame. That should be the only play. It should be the only play come playoff time. But I don't know. We're going to have to see on that one. And then to wrap up NBA Weekly, just real short.
This one quick thing. This is Giannis to his coaches.
Yep, he just like LeBron. Can't tell him nothing. That's the thing. That's why I think Ty Lue, one of the only him and Spo
not copyright us.
Yeah, Spo and Ty Lue. Why I think they really get like the the verified, the check mark. First of all, LeBron tried to fire Spo. Spo proved him wrong. Spo been great ever since. And Ty Lue, while a lot of people come for Ty Lue's head, LeBron still continuously praises him. Because that's Ty Lue is. Like, he's just a great manager of stars. He don't try to be in the way too much. He going to get everybody to play defense. We're going to draw some stuff off on offense. But if I have LeBron James, if I got Kawhi Leonard, they might know a thing or two. I'm going to hear them out. And like Chris said a million times, great player coach. Real quick, before we wrap things up, on NBA Weekly, Joel Embiid. Just make the finals. If he just makes the finals, I'll shut my mouth forever. I just need a healthy playoff run. That's all I need. This dude is one of the greatest scorers of all time.
Conference finals or NBA?
No, he's got to get to the finals. He's got to get to the final. He's got to win the East. Really, he should have to win the finals. But if he can get out of the finals with like a respectable performance, all right.
Let's say he goes to the conference finals, plays the Celtics, loses in like 7, and averages 37 points a game.
He'll have more respect. Like if he has like a monstrous run and just ends up losing to Celtics super team, then it's tough. I'll respect him. But I think at this point in his career, if he were to have a healthy playoff run and not cap it off with the finals, how many more chances are you gonna get like that, bro? You're gonna be 30 next year. You're not gonna be any healthier. I think he'll have a better longevity because he's able to shoot the mid range, and he's not gonna have to, be bumping and bruising down low for the rest of his career. But
Yeah, y'all want to know
I
who
think
JoJo really is?
what?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen don't got MVP.
He don't have an MVP, but he's got something close. But
Nah, he a MVP. Let's respect my boy.
so
Let's
wait.
respect my boy,
If
indeed.
Lamar is going to the Super Bowl this year, that means JoJo is going to the NBA Finals.
Look, I don't write Wattpad stories, dude. I'm just making comparisons. I don't write fanfics. But speaking of Lamar Jackson, we might as well shift gears to the AFC title game where the
Chris,
Baltimore Ravens will host Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar Jackson, the presumptual MVP, takes on last year's MVP, Chris stretching. He's about to get into a fight. But we started with Chris all throughout NBA weekly, so I want to start with Danny. Just what are your previews? What are your keys to success for either team? And yeah,
yeah, I believe Mahomes is the only person ever in playoff history to record 0 sacks and 0 interceptions in 3 straight playoff games, which is absurd. He was not sacked at all. He doesn't turn the ball over in the playoffs, and that's what matters in the playoffs, man. If you turn the ball over, if you take sacks, you get behind the sticks, and your team can't operate effectively, and that's why the Chiefs team is always so good in the playoffs. But the Chiefs haven't played the Ravens defense. What Mike McDonald has done with this defense, the stunts that they're coming out with Owe, with Jabo, with Mata BK has transformed his game. I've never seen a D tackle go from average to superstar in a span of a year.
he's getting the most out of Kyle Van Noy. Like, dude, he's getting every ounce of talent out of everyone he's got. And when one of your guys is Roquan Smith, and you're maximizing his talent, I sent y'all the
I'm
graph the
torn
other
though.
day, dude. He's got Ray Lewis type stats right now, dude.
So I'll tell you this though. I'm so torn because my heart tells me that the Ravens defense will get this done, but my brain says I've seen Patrick Mahomes dissect every single defense, no matter how good it is. Mahomes has always found a way to get it done in every big stage. But I
Yeah,
think this time he runs into a defense that's a little too strong. With if his receivers have any ounce of a bad performance, the Ravens defense will capitalize. I'm predicting Kyle Hamilton to have a phenomenal day. Probably intercept Mahomes one time. If he turns the ball over, it's going to be Kyle Hamilton. Just wait. And if that happens, the Chiefs are going down the drain because Lamar will not let the Chiefs stay in the game when this happens. So that gets to my final prediction. And this final prediction comes right after I say the Ravens will run the ball heavily, just like the Chiefs will. They've been leading on Pacheco. And get Mark Andrews if he's healthy, which I believe he will be playing this week. And you got to get your tight ends involved. Both teams, keys to success, get your tight ends involved. Both teams need to throw the ball heavily, get your tight ends involved. And you saw the Bills go pound for pound with the Chiefs. The Ravens need to do the same thing. Like so they have this power run game, but if you need to, I wouldn't be afraid to abandon my identity because you got the playmakers on the outside to go make it happen. That gets my prediction. I think the Ravens win in the first ever overtime playoff game with the new rules. 31-28.
Okay. So they
Justin
get the stop.
Tucker.
They get the stop. They kick the field goal.
Justin Tucker legacy game.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. All right. Yeah. I like a lot of the stuff you said. I mean, to really I watched a team that had 70 plus sacks in a season, not even touch him once. And you could accredit that to like a wet field or whatever, but like no, not really. That one credit to that offensive line, but like Mahomes, like when a quarterback has 0 sacks, that's not necessarily always an offensive line thing.
Not
That
at
is just
all.
a quarterback getting the ball out of his hands, extending plays. And like you said with Mahomes, taking 0 sacks, no turnovers, but has like a million touchdown passes. I think what makes Mahomes so special is that he is a gunslinger that is efficient. So Josh Allen is like a gunslinger, but he's going to turn the ball over a lot. And I think Mahomes has the ability to make those groundbreaking throws, but he's efficient. He's not going to turn it over. I mean, last week, 22 minutes of offense, 27 points, was only outgained by 7 yards, threw for more yards than Josh Allen, and it just simply took advantage of every single opportunity they had. They really should have put the game away, but Andy Reid thought it was a good idea to season on the line. McCole Hardman, I trust you. No. But yeah. But I want to speak to Chris. I mean, I bet nobody's more nervous than Chris right now. You do have the MVP. You have the best defense in the league, best linebacker duo in the league, arguably the best safety in the league. You got Andrews coming back, Likely, Flowers, Odell, Nelson Aguilar. I'm saying all these names, like all these dudes are like top tier guys, but they've been nice. But I want to hear your thoughts on this game.
And out of all those names you said, you missed one name that we don't have. Patrick Mahomes. That's the problem. That's what makes me scared. Like literally the guy, my auto.
I mean, you got the next best thing. You got the next best thing.
That's what I hope my auto shows up. You know, you've seen the State Farm commercial. I hope
Mahomes
shows up. I hope he shows up. But now, in all reality, it's if it is a team that's going to beat them, it's going to be the Ravens because the Chiefs win this game are going to win the Super Bowl. No, I don't think the Lions or the 49ers would beat Patrick Mahomes. I don't think so. So I think this is the best shot for it to happen. Only thing is, I think the thing that scares me most is that the defense has been so stellar all year without hiccups. And I would hate for the hiccup to be this game, or at least for them to be able to put up a comfortable, like Danny, I like your score prediction, but if it's a comfortable 28, if they don't have to like really get down and get some 4th and 1s or, like really have to work for it, then I think that's trouble. But, in saying all that, I do have faith in my team. I do. And I've watched them all year. I've watched them since I was 8 years old. And at the end of the day, one thing I know is that defense is going to come to play. And I'm almost 100% sure Ray Lewis is going to be the legend of the game for this game. If Ray Lewis comes out for the game, Roquan Smith already off those smelling salts on the sideline, him and Brent Urban, he's going to be off something else. So I already know that's going to gas him up. And I'm also looking forward to Pacheco and Roquan Smith meeting in that place and creating a black hole or creating that same blow up that happened in Dark Knight. Like I'm looking forward to that.
We'll all cease to exist.
Literally, we'll be done. It'd be like the Thanos snap. But yeah, I'm just excited to see. I'm excited to see a good game, bro. Honestly, and I want my team to win. Of course, I think we're going to win. But I just want to see a good game. I want to see the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion, duke it out and see what happens. I want to see which playmaker makes the most plays at the end of the day. And I think Lamar pulls it out because I think this is the year. I think Lamar and team John Harbaugh the most, knowing that this is the time to do it. If not, if it's any year, Mahomes has looked beatable. It is this year. You don't have to worry about Joe Burrow. He's out the way. Allen's out the way. Like, this is your one thing. I think everyone knows like it's time to buckle down and win. So yeah, I'm gonna go with my Ravens. I'm gonna go 31-20. I think Roquan and the defense does really well. I'm looking for some big plays out of some unfamiliar names recently. I think Odafe is gonna have a big game. I think so. I'm looking for Matabike to have a big game. I'm looking for what the linebackers can do over the middle of the field. Because at the end of the day, if we can keep Kelsey under wraps, I think that's going to be the most important. Because I'm not necessarily as terrified of Mecole Hardman and Rashee. I love Rashee Rice though. I'm not necessarily as terrified of them as I am of Kelsey. So I think if we can keep the middle of the field, kind of under wraps, I think we'll be in good shape. So I'll go with 31-20 Ravens on our way to Super Bowl.
I like that. And you brought up a really good point about the receivers. Because here's the thing. Kelsey's going to be guarded by Kyle Hamilton. He's going to get a mix of Patrick Queen, going to get, Roquan. You got a lot of bodies throwing him. If Marlon's back, he'll probably be guarding Rashee Rice. I think y'all know who's going to win that one. Unless Marlon like tweaks a calf or anything, knock on wood, God forbid. But I love both of y'all points.
Oh, one more thing too, Tom. I think it's
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
big Geno Stone game as well, because I think our nickel coverage is going to be really important with how, even with the Chiefs receivers not being as effective as usual, how they spread the field like that, and how they have to like to run like special plays and special sets. I think it's going to be a really big day for Geno Stone to be able to, just be that backup to Kyle Hamilton and Marlowe if he's able to play the whole game. Just like him being there is going to be very important because those slot receivers, those are guys you can kind of lose track of when you're watching the Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. So I think that's important too. My bad. I'm done yapping.
No,
Yeah,
you're
for
good.
sure.
So
Uh, I,
yeah,
I mean, you got the number one defense in sacks and pressures and all that in the Ravens. People don't realize this year the Chiefs are number two. The Chiefs are right behind them. The Ravens haven't played this elite defense in a while, and the last time it did, they played the Browns, and they actually lost that game 33-31.
yeah, I was
But the
saying a
problem
shootout.
in a
Ironic enough.
shootout, ironic enough, and this is the biggest sell job ever by the Baltimore Ravens. And the problem is, if you're going to sell to a team, it's going to be the Chiefs because they take advantage of every single one of your mistakes in the playoffs. Minimize if you're the Ravens, got to minimize mistakes, take care of the ball, let the punter punt the ball away, and play tough defense. Force 6 and outs for Mahomes. Let him get a first down. Stand your ground. Make him punt it away. Because Lamar, as much as Mahomes can bust a big play at any time, Lamar can do the same thing on himself. Because you see once he gets those feet moving, buttermilk chicken.
Yeah, I definitely like your points. I really like how the the Ravens defense matches up with the Chiefs weapons. I think the Chiefs are going to have to find a way to get the ground game going. Obviously, that's obviously key to playoff football. Um, but it's not going to be easy. The Ravens are second in rush EPA. But the Chiefs, on the other hand, they're sixth in rush EPA. So the Ravens' bread and butter, that is, running the football, getting Lamar involved in the run game. Um, you know, it's gonna be like, I think, a slugfest. I think y'all are almost putting up too many points on the board. I think this is gonna be a good old fashioned, like, it's gonna get nasty. This is gonna get nasty, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Patrick Mahomes is too good for this entire panel to be picking the Ravens. So I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, 20-17. But I do have logic behind, he's Mahomes. That's not, the only reasoning. I do like the defense a lot. I think their defense is a lot better than Houston's. Um, and like Danny said, the last time they seen a defense that good, they didn't necessarily lose because the other defense was good. The Browns' road defense is absolutely horrendous. Um, but I think Kansas City's defense has been really good all year. And what I really like most about the pass catcher so far these playoffs, Rashee Rice. We were walking out of that wild card round like, yo, this the wide receiver one. This gonna figure it out. Bro had like 44 yards next game. And MVS stepped up. MVS also has big playoff blood in him. Last game he was nice. Last year's championship game, I think, had like 8 catches for 112 yards, 2 tutties. Like he was phenomenal. So I think it's just like Mahomes. Okay, you're gonna force me to make someone else beat you. I'm gonna figure it out. It's really Brady-esque at this point. Brady in the Super Bowl said, I don't got Julian Edelman. He's out for the year on roids. Or it might have been the ACL. I don't remember. But he's Super Bowl against the Eagles. I don't got Jules. I'm gonna make Chris Hogan, former lacrosse player. I'm gonna get him 100 yards. Danny Amendola, I'm gonna get you 100 yards.
He's
That's
nice.
what
He's nice though.
Amendola
Nice.
Amendola. I mean, he ain't like that. He wasn't like that. He ain't cooking what was probably the best defense in the league that year. You know, but it's gotten to that point with Mahomes. Wild card round, we got Rashee Rice looking like true wide receiver one. Round 2, we got MVS, catching bombs, making huge plays. Both of those games, he has Travis Kelce out of nowhere looking like his old self. Caught 2 touchdowns. I think his ability to I think him and Lamar both share this trait: create playmakers, turn other people into playmakers. I think I like look, as good as this Ravens defense is, this ain't nothing that he ain't ever seen before. And I think, he'll it ain't gonna be easy. He's not gonna just be able to get whatever he wants. He might turn the ball over. I trust Lamar against this defense. I trust Mahomes against Baltimore's defense a little bit more than Lamar against the Chiefs defense. And the reason being, it's kind of for the same thing. The tight ends, the Ravens tight ends are going to have a little bit of a better day. But I mean, in terms of receivers, Zay Flowers is going to have to see L'Jarius Sneed, who has finally everyone's starting to notice that he's been one of the better corners in the league, one of the best corners in the league for the past couple of years. His physicality could really get to a guy like Zay Flowers, throw everything off. I wouldn't be surprised if he lined up with Isaiah Likely sometimes. I don't know how much they'll infiltrate Mark Andrews, but yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs over Ravens 20-17 because we can't all pick the Ravens. That's not fun.
I can't change my pick from the original Super Bowl pick.
Oh, you have Raven? Yeah, you have Raven. Yeah. Look, I mean,
we all did.
Look, whatever this game goes, this is my official prediction. Don't worry about what my bracket says. I know it says Ravens. I'm not gonna look. If the Ravens win, I'm not tooting my own horn. Like I'm locking in. Like I'm picking the Chiefs. It is what it is. If it don't pan out, it don't pan out. I gotta own it like a man. Now to the other game, which might arguably be more intriguing because of how things went down last week. We have the San Francisco 49ers. We got the Detroit Lions. And the reason why I say I think it's a little more intriguing is because the Lions have looked really, really good on offense throughout the first two games. And the Niners might have been a little rusty, almost lost to the Packers. I don't think they'll look as rusty. Obviously, next week, I don't think the forecast is rain. If it's raining, Purdy's losing. But I have a lot more faith in this Lions team than I originally intended for. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is stamping himself as a top 5 receiver. I mean, like, I truly believe it. He's one of the best zone-up receivers, one of the best yards after catch guys. Jahmyr Gibbs is fully unleashed. He's entirely unleashed. They took the collar off. They unclipped the leash. This kid was getting whatever he wanted last week. And I think Aaron Jones, the Packers kind of got away from him a little bit, but I thought Aaron Jones did a really good job. I think that the Lions, can stick with this run game, use both your backs, but really use Gibbs. Take advantage of the quick game. I think the Lions have a decent shot. That being said, I think their defense is going to provide pressure. I think Goff's not saying he's going to get flustered. He did a fine job against the team that blitzes the most last week. I think that Niners that Detroit defense was given struggles through the first 2 games of the playoffs. Look, no one's going to give you more fits than Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, Brock Purdy. Like, nobody's going to give you more fits than those guys. So I think I'm going to lean with the 49ers in like a 20. I'll go 28-21, something simple. And they're not going to, I don't think they're going to lose because of Goff. Like, I don't think that. I think the Niners they're going to do that defense in, and it's not going to be, and it's going to be difficult. Now, mind you, maybe I'm judging this Lions defense poorly because they've just now really gotten CJ Gardner-Johnson back. But yeah, I'm going to go Niners 28-21. And whoever wants to take the floor next, feel free, please.
Yeah, I'm going to take the floor next, I guess. So the San Francisco 49ers have been dominant in all aspects in the playoffs. I mean, their run game, they like you said, maybe I was cherry picking, but they came back and won the game. they did not, so to say, come back and they punched the Packers back in the mouth, pretty much.
Yeah, they ain't like dominate, but look, they haven't got punched in the mouth all year. And like every time they got punched in the mouth, they lost. They got punched in the mouth, they punched back. That's essentially the point I was getting at earlier. But yeah, go ahead.
And currently, they're playing a team that will punch them in the mouth and kick them in their face when they're on the ground. The Detroit Lions will go into Santa Clara and beat the Niners just because they have everything it takes to beat the Niners. They're built like the 2022 Eagles, and I smell blood in the water all over it. You see the power run game. You see the D line coming alive in the playoffs. You see the mediocre cornerback room that is okay. It gets it done. You see the safeties that are strong. That's just how the Eagles were built last year to beat the Niners, and it smells exactly. It smells exactly like the Niners are going to lose to this team, and the only thing that the Niners have over the Lions, in my opinion, is experience. Because I'm not gonna lie, I would take Gibbs and Montgomery over the whole entire running back room of San Francisco. Not McCaffrey. McCaffrey is way above it. But here's the thing: McCaffrey goes down, you're cooked. I think
he is dealing with a little bit of quad issue, but he seemed to play perfectly fine through it. But no, not praying on anyone's downfall. Not gonna win.
They have a lot more depth in Detroit. The receiving room is a lot better. Like as it stands, the receiving room is a lot better. Debo's injured. Kittle is evidently better than Laporta, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie phenom.
It's close. I mean, if Laporta is like a little bit healthier, I wouldn't be afraid to call it a wash, to be quite honest.
Kittle's better in the run game. That's all I'll say.
I said this last spring when we were talking about draft prospects. Nobody gives two shits about a tight end's blocking, just like no one really cares about NBA players' defense. It's like Celtics and Mavericks fan arguing about Luka and Tatum, and Celtics fans will be like, oh, well, what about defense? You only brought up defense because you know you're cooked on offense. It's just like the Kelsey Kittle thing. You only bring up blocking because you know you are cooked in the receiving game. You don't really care. But, okay. But what's the score prediction before we hand it on over to Chris?
The score prediction. The Detroit Lions will advance to play the Ravens in the Super Bowl, where the Ravens steamroll them like they did in the regular season. 28-21.
Just like me, but opposite. Okay. All right, Chris, now time to talk about your two favorite quarterbacks, Brock and Goff.
Yes, I'm hoping that this game ends 3-0 and both quarterbacks play terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm with Danny. I'm with the Lions, and I'm gonna tell you why. If there's anything I hate more than Jared Goff, it is the analysts telling me Brock Purdy's better than what he is, and I'm not even a Brock Purdy hater. I'm not saying Brock Purdy not better than Dak Prescott. Does that make me a Dak Prescott hater? Probably so. But this is the point of
you are that. So we know that. We know that. You are such a hater that you use voodoo magic. Like I'm done hating on him. Then dude plays the worst game of his career. So
reverse black magic. I'm like Mike Tomlin's cousin, Michael Tomlin. There we go. But in reality, though, I think it'll be a really good game. I think both offenses are really legit. I think the most underrated player in football is playing in this game, and that be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's the most underrated player in football. He is one of my favorite receivers to watch, and he catches everything that comes his way. I'm a big Amon-Ra St. Brown fan. And for that reason alone, if Jared Goff can be the game manager that I know he is, that Cam Newton knows he is, he can spread the ball around Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown, Laporta, and those guys, I think they can win. I think the Lions really can win this game. But saying that, they have to withstand the pressure of the 49ers, and also they have to be able to stop the 49ers on offense as well. And the Detroit Lions has had times where their defense has looked great. They also had times where defense hasn't looked as great. So if the defense has one of those games where it's like they're not looking as great, they lose by 2 touchdowns. Easy. But if the defense can hold up their side of the bargain, which I think they will, I think Dan Campbell's such a locked-in coach. If there was another person that you can put in that body, if Dan Campbell could switch spots with a linebacker right now, he would. He's just so locked in. I think he's gonna have a defense locked in. So I think I think it's a close one. But I'm going to choose the Lions in this game because I like their playmakers more. I like McCaffrey as a playmaker more than everybody else. But Debo at not 100% is scary for me. I like Ayuk a lot, but like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown's incredible to me, and Gibbs and Montgomery. That's a beautiful tandem. So I think it's a close one. I think it's like 20-17, and this could definitely be wrong. Like I said, I think it's either going to be 2017 Lions or 34-17 49ers. So I think it'll either go one of those two ways. But I'm going to lean with my Lions picking and say they win by 3 just to keep the Cinderella story going. Everybody loves a good story. And me being everybody. I love a good story. I love a good narrative. And I love hating. So this is all 3 of those things in one. So I can do all those.
Yeah, I would say throughout the last 2 years specifically, I've not been big on the Lions just because I think everybody was like, I don't know. They were a nice underdog. They were. And they still are the underdog in this game. Don't get me wrong. But, like, it's just like people were getting the wrong idea. They were putting Goff in conversations. He wasn't trying to. He don't want that action. I think Dan Campbell is a cornball, to be quite honest. But, like, he's the perfect guy for Detroit. He's a hard-nosed type of guy. It's a good story. I would cheer for them to win this game. Like y'all said, they give off crazy 2017 Eagles vibes to me. You got a defense, like a pass rush that's really picking it up in the playoffs. You just got your elite safety back who can play in the box, just like Malk, but as Gardner Johnson. Questionable corner play, but not horrible. You got a quarterback who is a absolute statue, but can sling that thing if you protect him right. You got Amon-Ra who acting like he better than everybody on that 2017 Eagles team. Everybody in that receiving room, so it don't even matter. But I mean, look, they got good vibes. I would love to see them win. I think the Niners are just overly stacked. They're going to be at home. You're not gonna, and what kind of goes into my reason, you're not getting that same Niners team two times, like back to back. You're not getting that Niners team struggling that bad. So, like, for the Packers to not put the final blow on them, now everybody else going to suffer the consequences because you didn't put, like, you should have took him, like, you should have cut my head off, basically. And so yeah. But, all right, so basically I have a Chiefs Niners Super Bowl. These guys have a Ravens Lions Super Bowl. If y'all thought Philly winning a Super Bowl was bad, don't let Baltimore or Detroit get one. Especially Detroit. You can't have shit in Detroit. So
they would burn Detroit down. Come on, man.
Nah, they would just take everything out of Detroit and put it on the outskirts of Detroit and just say you can't have nothing in Detroit. But as we're talking about the high hopes of winning and beautiful things that could happen to a city that's never seen a Super Bowl title, we do have to talk about the divisional losers. Real quick, not going to spend a lot of time on these two guys. Packers, Texans got a lot of cap space, got a young team. They do have some holes, but they got the cap space to figure it out. DeMeco Ryans, Matt LaFleur, me and Danny's respective Coach of the Year picks did a hell of a job this year. CJ Stroud, expect him to be in these games for the rest of his career. Jordan Love, same thing. Like I said, they got holes, but they got the cap space to fix them. They got the right guys at the helm at quarterback. Not much time, not much to spend there. We do got to talk about the Bills though, because this is supposed to be their window. You got the elite quarterback, and he's not to say he's not getting it done, but this team is just not getting it done in a time where this is their time. And I want Danny get started off because he's actually the one that inspired this topic.
Yeah, I actually believe that Josh Allen is the furthest thing from the problem. His play style in the playoffs elevates. He doesn't turn the ball over. He is the key to this offense. I think you have to take a step back and realize maybe our defense isn't as good as we think it is. Maybe this aging defense that can turn on at some points, that isn't fast, doesn't play fast.
And they're always banged up.
Always banged up. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is aside from Stephon Diggs, who actually disappeared the last 8 weeks of the season, we don't have someone to go get the ball, go get it done. I mean, you had Khalil Shakir. He actually he played better than Diggs did in both playoff games. Stephon Diggs is about to be on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah, and I saw this on a TikTok. I can't remember the account name or anything, but they appointed Diggs' fall off midseason was because Joe Brady has him running like a very low, like, yards per route. So his catch per route's lower. And he had like a great year with Yak and everything. I don't necessarily know why. And it's not like 30 was the exact reason, but I guess during that, that time period when Joe Brady took over, all that it was more so catching shorter stuff. But yeah, I mean, still absolutely, inexcusable. You could have won that game. You could just caught the ball. And he did hold himself accountable, obviously. But yeah, I think I would agree. I think you got to get a little younger on defense. And you got to kind of move forward. There are guys that just always banged up. Of course, Matt Milano, you're always welcome back. You're one of the 3 best backers in football. But Trey White's always hurt, man. Look, he's phenomenal, but he's always hurt. I think you just really got to get younger on that side of the ball. Offensively, you have to get a real wide receiver too. Like, you really, really do. I'm not sweating over Diggs, how he finished the year. I think he'll be fine. It cost him, but I think he'll be okay next year. I don't ever think he's really the problem. Gabe Davis is leaving. That's fine. You need to replace it with a real. I think Shakir he can stay. He can be a good wide receiver 3. I think he's really good. I think you need a more true wide receiver 2. Problem is that cap space is a problem. You can't really go sign a guy like Tyler Boyd to go be your wide receiver 2. You can't really go sign T. Higgins. Those guys want top dollar. Not saying Tyler Boyd needs top dollar, but like, you want him as a wide receiver 2, it's going to cost, because he is one of the best wide receiver 3s, if not the best wide receiver 3 in the NFL. So, and that's the thing. They're 30th in cap space. They're like negative 42 million. You're going to have to cut and trade and do a lot of it. And a lot of that's going to start with your aging stars and getting rid of those contracts, taking on some dead money. It could be a multi-year process to really fix up that defense.
Yeah, you paid Von Miller, I believe, $1 million per tackle this year.
Yeah, dude, that signing, even at its time,
was horrible.
One of the worst signings I've ever seen.
Okay, it does have it has opt-outs. That's the only benefit.
Well, fair then. I would say, Chris, did you have anything to say about, a potential Buffalo, like, not rebuild, but refresh or anything at all about Josh Allen?
Not much different than what y'all said. I think the biggest thing is they need to get a wide receiver 2. Even past the defense, I think you need to get a wide receiver 2 for. I think that helps Diggs. And I agree with the defense too. So yeah, y'all hit it on the head.
Yeah, I would say positives about them. You still have Josh Allen. Dalton Kincaid, very solid rookie season. Him and Dawson Knox, very good tight end duo. That's something you can work around. James Cook, I did not think he would be that good this year. He definitely proved me wrong. I thought he's phenomenal. That's a guy you can go forward with. But you got holes. But as for the Buccaneers, a lot of questions surrounding them. They have a lot of cap space. What are you going to do with Mike Evans? Are you giving Baker a longer term contract? Daniel, what do you see them doing? Do you see them maybe tagging Evans, tagging Baker? Like, what do you think? What are the correct moves for the Bucs this offseason?
I think the Bucs' priority should be extend Baker Mayfield for a very long time. I think that he is their franchise guy. I think he's proved that at the age of 27, 28, he's not too old. I think he can be in his prime and make this team a winning franchise in a weak division that has Bryce Young, Desmond Ridder, pending anyone else, maybe Justin Fields, and Derek Carr. Someone said that every person that Derek Carr's ever played with has mental health issues, which is kind of crazy.
Olave next.
Yeah, so he got arrested this year too. Antonio Brown, Chandler Jones, Henry Ruggs killed somebody.
Dude, he was with Carr for like 8 weeks, man. And they didn't even get to play a game together.
Antonio Brown really
he caught it the worst.
He did catch the worst. And then he flew away. He said, "I'm free."
Yeah, him and Chris Jones starring the CT ESPN pod.
They got Antonio Brown is hilarious.
Yeah, bro. He's a good
Yo.
Twitter follower, but he is unfortunately
Cooked.
Yeah, he is unfortunately a sex offender to the public. So,
And if you haven't yet, to our listeners, listen to Bill Belichick by Chandler Jones. Elite video.
no, that was oh my god. But anyway, back to the moral story. I don't know about Baker being a franchise guy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think maybe give him like a 3-year deal, 2-3-year deal. Maybe draft a guy, another former Oklahoma quarterback. Anyway, but I think they should look to draft a guy.
Are you talking about Caleb Williams? I'm kidding.
Nah, you know what I'm talking
He
about.
meant LSU legend Jaden Daniels. That's all. That's all.
Well, y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep his name count to a minimum, but I do think they should maybe look for a quarterback in the later rounds. I don't think Kyle Trask is an option. I don't think Baker's a long-term option. They're not, but I mean, hey, they won 9-10 games this year. You won a playoff game. You were competitive in the second one. You're a Baker Mayfield CTE moment away from maybe a game-tying drive. I mean, not really his fault. He was pressured and everything, but I don't know. They're not to say they're in no man's land. They're in a positive spot, but and then got cap space to figure things out.
I'm hearing Mike Evans is an Atlanta Falcon.
I'm hearing he going home. I'm hearing he going to Houston. Him, Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
GG's.
That team. I think that team could go to a championship game, and it wouldn't
Mike
shock me if
Evans
they went to the Super Bowl.
Mike Evans could go simply join the best quarterback in the NFL and Patrick Mahomes and be unfair. But y'all don't want to see that.
No, he's weird. If he does that, he's weird. Certified weirdo. I hope his 1,000-yard streak ends when Travis tells Taylor to put him on a like Selena Gomez or something.
Yo, do you all see the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift stuff on Twitter? People we posted.
Yeah, because he said
images.
Yeah, that's stop. Anyway, yeah, it's not. Don't bring that up. That's weird. That's people who even type
absurd.
up that stuff.
People
are just
crazy.
weirdos. People aren't crazy. They're weirdos, and they need to be put in mental hospitals. Like, what even makes you type that into a AI generator? You're just weird, and you have sick fantasies. However, though, Travis Kelce is a hashtag certified freakazoid because he said he's looking forward to Valentine's Day with Taylor Swift. He said he got some extra special. What does that mean? What is wrong with you?
He's just
Anyway,
gonna say, "Shut your mouth, jabroni."
Yeah. We were talking about the divisional losers. Instead, we're talking about potential
The
Travis
winners.
Kelce. Yeah, potential Travis Kelce Valentine's Day fantasies. But yeah, let's move on to the last part. Championship weekend hot takes. Don't think anybody's hit last week from
I was close.
knowledge.
I said that Lamar would throw for five account for 5 total touchdowns. He had 4.
He got 4. He was close. That's indeed. I don't even remember what. I don't remember what I said. That's how ass it was. But I guess this week, okay. This week, my bold prediction will be that Jared Goff and Brock Purdy will both throw for over 300 yards. Both throw 3 touchdowns. And yeah, that's that. Both of them have Fantasy Day Masterclass. Anybody can go next, no matter. I mean,
Yeah, my hot take.
This is what we're wrapping it up with.
Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson will combine for 5 touchdowns.
They will combine for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well up it to 6. Make it even.
I was about to say 6, but I was like, you know what? 6. They're gonna combine for 6 touchdowns. Yeah, that's my thought. I think they both. I think Pat Mahomes gets a touchdown with his legs. I think Lamar gets 1 too, and I think they both throw for 2. That's my thought.
Okay, so we'll put it that way, so it's more specific.
Yeah, that one.
Both rush for 1, and then they both have 2 touchdown passes. There we go.
Yeah.
And Danny.
Brock Purdy has 3 total turnovers, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground.
So you think he's coughing up the rock? He's just gonna fumble. Somebody's gonna kill him.
He's scared. He's gonna be scared once he sees Aiden Hutchinson in his face. Aiden Hutchinson has brought winning back to Detroit, in not only for Michigan but for the Lions, and I think they get it done. I think the Lions advance, but then unfortunately lose to my king. Which I don't know why he's my king, Lamar Jackson, because I'm a Steelers fan. But I love Lamar Jackson like he's a brother to me, you know.
King Marmar.
I was just about to say.
I've been calling him Marmar the entire season. That's just Marmar. But
A-ball. Hey, he's my brother because we both are A-ball.
You are not A-ball.
That is indeed true. Danny Amendola, I fear. Greater than.
Danny.
Bro, you are retired with 3 children, bro. Give it up.
Cole Mendola was lit, though. That is lit. That is great.
Cole Mendola.
Cole Mendola. That's cool.
He couldn't have thought of that when he was actually still playing.
My friend used to call me D. Cole Hardman.
D. Cole Hardman, yeah.
That's
Bro,
cool
tell him respect you right now, and don't ever compare you to that bum. Y'all got anything to say before we get on out of here?
Nope. Just NBA while y'all firing coaches. Don't forget, it's a team over there in LA. They can use a change. Just letting y'all know if y'all still firing.
Tyler's doing just fine. What are we talking
about?
about?
He's doing great. The other one with the hands in the pocket. That guy, hot pockets.
LeBron coach? Is LeBron allowed to coach?
He might as well, bro. Like he might as well.
Make Phil Handy the assistant.
Like at this point, bro. At this point, what do you have to lose, man? Just make him a player coach.
That's what I'm saying. He can go be
because who is going to deny him anyway?
Who gonna
make AD an assistant coach, and then bam.
Then D'Angelo Russell the stylist. Easy.
Then wait,
real quick. I wanted to ask you about that. Everyone said like D'Lo looked really emotional after the game. Apparently, it's like, oh, maybe he knows he's getting traded. Do you want D'Lo traded?
Me personally, no.
I feel like a lot of Lakers fans are like, oh, get his ass out of here. He's too inconsistent. But I'm like,
he shouldn't be a starter.
The only playmaker you have outside
he should not
of LeBron.
Be a starter for that reason. For that reason, we need him for that reason. That's why he needs to be the 6th man and be the playmaker off the bench. But hand pockets doesn't know what he's doing. So now it's D'Angelo Russell's fault to everybody else. I think you keep D'Lo. You keep him.
So what you're saying? Okay, maybe move LeBron for the starting unit. Move LeBron to the 1.
Yep.
And then you'll have Reeves, Reddish when he gets back, AD, and
I'd say Vando. And this is my first sub. I'll let you know. So I thought about this.
Okay, so Vando. I would say Vando and Reddish on the court. It's ironic because Reddish is there to be a shooter, but like the spacing is brutal because like he can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess your first couple guys off the bench, D'Lo, Prince.
No, other way around. I would go Bron, Reeves, Rui, AD, Reddish. So I go that 5. Then my first sub off the bench, first 2 subs, D'Angelo Russell, Christian Wood. And you bring D'Lo in for LeBron, you go sit LeBron, and then you have Reeves, then you have Wood, then you bring in Vanderbilt as well. So then you bring in defense and offense together. I think that's the problem with Ham's, what he's doing right now. It's either all defense and 1 offensive player, or it's all offense and 1 defensive player. I think it has to be more of, and I think you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You have the ability to have options like that, to play it more like that. So I think you have to have more of a mixture and not just go, we're going to just go all defense here, or we're going to just go all tall.
But you heard him, though. We got to decide what we want to be. 43 games into the season. We got to decide what we want to be, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if it's up to him or the coach. I thought Darvin Ham was the coach. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I do want to applaud to you, though, because growth. You put Rui in the lineup. That's growth.
Yeah, and you know why? You know
at least he is a good rotational player, though.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. You got to up that trade value to get him up out of here. So you got to give him the starting value.
I'll tell you what, nobody's trade value higher on that team right now than D'Lo. But again, I don't want to see D'Lo go either. When they first traded for him last spring or last trade deadline, I'm like, it's just perfect. It's beautiful because he's not taking up a lot of shots. When his 3 is falling, my God, like he's just going to let it fly. He single-handedly won them a playoff game, or like extended it to the point where the Grizzlies couldn't come back last year. He hit 3 straight threes in transition. You got to have someone who can shoot unconscious like that, but also kind of know he don't got it going. Maybe I need to get to the rim, or maybe I got to feed Anthony Davis. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how the Lakers going to fight back. I don't know how much. I mean, it's tough when LeBron is giving out public endorsements of Darvin Ham. So it's like, how do you feel? Like, what do you actually feel about Ham? Like, I feel like maybe he likes Ham because maybe LeBron has a lot of power in this, but I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, I think it's it's a very good Thanksgiving dinner food. Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham and cheese. Darvin Ham hot pocket. Darvin hands in the ham pocket. I don't know, Ben. Get that dude out of here. Shout out LeBron, man. He would love Joe Mazzulla. Facts. He'd love him more than me, at least.
He would love Nick Nurse really much.
Nah, Nick Nurse would make the bro play defense. I'm not doing that.
I'm pushing that agenda, LeBron to Philly trust.
Yeah,
LeBron
I mean, I remember when he during that summer 2018 free agency, Bronny was on a visit to Malvern Prep, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, LeBron coming here." I'm like, dog. First of all, let's lock in. 5-star athlete Bronny James is not going to Malvern Prep. First of all, like that's not happening. If he's going anywhere, it would be like to
Brewster. No, Brewster. I'm tripping. Brewster isn't even out there. I forgot.
I don't even know where he would go for ball around here, to be quite honest. So
he would have go joined Pacer legend Isaiah Wong at Bonner and Prendergast.
Yeah, nah. Let's respect my boy. Good thing he went to Sierra Canyon. And yeah, e-balling at USC. Shout out to him. The only college role player that like actually has haters. That's unreal. But yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in, especially to this extra Yap session. Look, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. We're getting new subscribers every single week. We really appreciate y'all. Make sure you keep following up. Hit those post notifications. If you're listening to this on audio platform, please leave a 5-star rating, download. Make sure you follow us on Apple Pies, on Spotify. We really appreciate all the love that y'all been giving us. Anything y'all want to see out of us, please just comment. Anything say before we get on out of here? All right. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.